Veritas Files here. This is going to be a response to Aaron at StormCloudsGathering. I recommend you check out his channel. He's recently done some silver videos, or some videos on silver bugs, as what he calls them. I am specifically not a silver bug. I do not go crazy about silver. I do think it's important, but that's because I know something about it and I've done some research on it, and I've had some friends who've done a number of videos to inform me on the topic. I found his videos kind of frustrating. I like watching YouTube videos that are about, even when we disagree, that are about ways in which we can, improve our own strategy. Dialogue that we can have to help sharpen each other, to help us improve what we're doing, give us more options. Love that. But I found his video just the opposite. And from my perspective, unhelpful. Let me just go through what he says in his video and why I think he's mistaken. One thing he talked about was people that throw ecstatic fits when silver hit 30 and 40 and it's going to hit 50, and he just thinks that's kind of crazy. And that they won't be partying when it hits $200 because it's not something that they're going to want to be celebrating. Reality is going to set in. Well, the first thing I have to say to that is, shame on you for ascribing the worst possible motives to people that, probably get excited when an investment that they've made goes up in dollars. Okay? Is it always appropriate to be as boisterous about it as somebody like Silver Futurist? Probably not. But again, that's his personality. That's not somebody being crazy about silver. Also, this idea that because they're throwing these ecstatic fits or excited about their investment going up, that they are somehow also at the same time celebrating the demise of their country and all the attending evil that's going to obtain from that, the starvation of children. That is, how can I put that nicely? That is utterly ridiculous. If I were being uncharitable to you, I would have to assume you were attempting to be a jerk on purpose. I hope that's not the case, but to ascribe that kind of motive to their celebratory actions is ridiculous. And personally, I think you owe those people an apology. Nobody is celebrating the demise of the United States. They might be excited about the Federal Reserve disappearing and being able to start a new system, but they are not celebrating what is going to happen to this country. Everybody is not looking forward to that. Everybody is opposed to the suffering that's going to happen as a result, but in many cases, as you well know, there's just nothing that can be done to avoid that. It's going to happen. It's mathematical certainty. Having said that, he goes on to talk about how much silver people actually have. I suspect that he doesn't know that many people that have silver. I don't know whether he does or not, but that's my suspicion. I know many people on YouTube who have many times the amount of silver that I do. As I said, I'm not a silver bug. Silver is not a primary strategy for me. It is one strategy amongst many. It is one tool in a toolbox, okay? And that's personally, that is the way I think everyone should view it, unless they are in a position where they are reduced to a single or just a few strategies or tools. And those are people that are ill, people that are elderly, things like that. Like I said, I'm not a silver bug. I collect silver in small amounts. Generally, I spend between $20 and sometimes $50 in a given pay period. I don't make a lot of money, so I don't have a lot of money to spend. I get good deals because I go to antique shops and things like that, places where they don't follow the price very closely. And so I get a lot of good deals. But you're looking at over $10,000 of silver, And that's from somebody who has very little compared to a lot of people that I know. I know people that have 10 times this amount and more. Now he thinks that, probably nobody has $100,000 plus. That's just not true. That's just not true. It doesn't take that much to get $100,000 worth of silver, particularly when it goes from $11 to $46 in a 2 or 3 year period. I mean, it just doesn't take that much. But the point is, people do have significant amounts of silver. You're also looking at representations of, some smaller silver bullion that I tend to buy on the advice of people who know more about it than I do. This kind of stuff would be easy to carry, easy to conceal. You're looking at a small representation of gold that I've bought. I tend to only buy 10th ounce coins or something similar. And I keep copper as well. Again, that's a representation. That's not, these are not my, this is my above ground silver. This is the silver that's not been dispersed, that's not hidden, that's not buried. That's what you're looking at here. In his video, he seems to be responding to a phantom. He seems to think that people who are excited about silver or who believe that it is a worthwhile investment, and I would argue an essential investment, in my opinion. He seems to be addressing someone who is using silver as their primary and only strategy. And I'm wondering specifically exactly who he's talking about. I can't think of very many who have absolutely no other strategy beyond just buying silver or gold or anything like that, or metals in general. I can't think of anybody whose only tool is that. Well, I take that back. Well, I take it. I can't think of anybody, even those who are a little more elderly that I know who collect silver. They have other things that they are also doing in preparation. So I don't even know who he's talking about. I'd love to hear exactly who he's talking about. Are there masses of these people? Are there lots of people that simply believe you should buy silver and hide it in your house and do nothing more? That it's going to magically turn into food and water and tools and know-how in terms of gardening or raising crops. I mean, where do these people live? What are their YouTube channel names? I'd love to see this mass of people that he seems to be addressing. I don't know who they are. The people that I frequent the channels of in the circles in which I traffic, I mean, this just doesn't describe them at all. Do I know people that throw ecstatic fits? Absolutely. Silver Futurist cracks me up because of his personality. I'm waiting for a video where that guy just simply explodes on screen. But, the people that he's addressing, that Aaron's addressing, I have no idea where these people live. I don't know anybody who really thinks that silver is going to get them through 30 years and they're just going to have a stress-free life and nothing bad's going to happen to them. I just don't know anybody like that. And I would suggest that he probably doesn't either. Okay? He's probably reading too many things into their comments. Now, he says that essentially when the economy collapses, your silver supplies and your gold and everything else is essentially just going to dry up. And, to a degree that may be true. If it's the case that people are just going to try to live their normal American lifestyle and drive, a couple 100 miles a week, have air conditioning on all the time, the heat on whenever they want to, running water, everything else that they're accustomed to in the United States. If that's what they're going to do, yeah, you're right. Things would probably dry up within a year or two or three. They're not going to make it through a 20-year collapse. I would grant you that. But again, I just don't know people like that. I don't know people like that. I don't know people that are relying on silver or gold or a combination of those two by themselves alone to sustain them forever through the entire collapse with no other strategy. I just don't. And so, as much as you find it adolescent for people to be celebrating their investment in silver going up, I find it a little adolescent that you're talking about a group of people as if they are another group of people. And this almost seems like your video is an attempt to shore up your own convictions on a topic. I mean, you have invested everything into a single narrow strategy. I think your strategy is good in that I think homesteading is a positive strategy. It's a very good strategy. I think homesteading to the exclusion of everything else is problematic. So I would advise anybody who's homesteading to put a little money into silver and gold, copper, and I wouldn't advise them to put a lot of money. They probably don't have a lot of money. But if you can't come up with, 10 or 20 bucks in a given month to put toward buying some silver dimes, if you can't save pre-1981 pennies, you can't do essentially a poor man's job of saving silver, then you've got bigger problems. You're not going to probably make it through a collapse anyway. And I will tell you, the more narrow your strategy, the worse off you are going to be. One of the biggest problems I see with Aaron's outlook is that he has decided what will happen, even in some of the details he's decided. And I don't think those things are knowable. I really don't. I think you have a problem of overconfidence. There are certain things that are bound to happen, but those are general things. The collapse of the United States as the superpower or hyperpower, that is bound to happen. That's going away, right? The United States is a long-term third world country. That is not clear. Now, will we be as wealthy as we are today? Absolutely not. Will we look more like Mexico? Probably so. But I don't think we're going to look like an African country necessarily. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. It's just not necessarily the most likely outcome. And I think if you're telling people that having a mobile, easily transportable store of wealth, that you're telling them that's a bad idea, I think that's just bad advice. And now I can see why you might be doing that, in that you have decided to invest all of your money into something that is decidedly immobile, decidedly non-transportable, and so your ability to adapt to various circumstances is in that sense is very limited. Having a savings in precious metals is just the opposite. It allows you to be mobile and to be adaptable. And if you do that in the context of homesteading, I think that's a great idea. But homesteading by itself, it's a good idea so long as that narrow idea works. As soon as you step outside the bounds of a circumstance in which homesteading and being immobile is useful or helpful, you are screwed in the worst way because you have no options. I have options. I have land. I have a home. I have a garden. I have food stores. I will expand my garden, and I have been every summer. But I have options. If something goes wrong with that, I can leave with a store of wealth that will fit into a lunchbox bag, and I'm done. I'm gone. And I have other stores buried in other places. I have other stores that are being kept by friends and family in other places. I can leave. I can take a store of wealth and take off. Can you do that? I don't know. I'll probably do a video addressing his second video in a few minutes. We'll see. Thanks a lot, guys.